Welcome, you're watching Vox News, your daily news updates with Rita Kamkumo. Our headlines today: presidential and legislative elections kicked off this Thursday in Uganda under an internet blackout. The African Union secures 270 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines for Africa. Britain plans to make coronavirus vaccinations available for its population 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Ugandans took part this Thursday in their country's presidential and parliamentary elections under heavy security, yet under an internet blackout. After a violent election campaign, the government ordered a shutdown of the internet on the eve of the vote.
I'm not happy, and I think majority of the people are not happy because communication, we had become addicted to WhatsApp, Facebook and all that. And all of a sudden, it's blackout and it's no more. So life has become so hard. We cannot communicate to the rest of our people domestically and internationally.
I think it is quite disturbing because we are not getting the information and we are not getting any updates. So it is a bit not fair.
The internet actually brings every person nearer to each other, and we'll be getting information from near and far, and actually you find that it would ease the communication and the tallying, the counting, and then updates. But you find that there's a lot of fear factor, maybe by the government, I would say, something that would actually, there's some hidden agenda, but as voters, we think that let us vote in big numbers, maybe would get out the right results as we expect.
Some voters explained why they are longing for change as long-time ruler Yoweri Museveni pursues a sixth term in office against 10 other presidential candidates, among which his main rival, Bobi Wine.
Mainly, it is because of the situation we are in Uganda. We don't have medicine. People are dying in hospitals. We have bad schools, bad roads. Everything is in a very bad state. I'm very excited on this day because this is the day we've been waiting for. This is the day we've been waiting for the new Uganda, as our prince proposed it. So we are very excited to see what is going on.
The only sad thing about on the other side is that we are missing the communication because some lines have been cut off. We don't have internet, so we are lacking communication outside Kampala. We don't know what's going on.
38-year-old opposition presidential candidate Bobi Wine on Thursday denounced the internet blackout, alleging that a plot to rig the elections had already been set. About 18 million people have registered to vote in the elections, in which General Yoweri Museveni is hoping to extend his 35-year rule. Meanwhile, in Uganda, the country's electoral commission said on Tuesday that it hopes for a free and fair election a day before the critical vote, as the opposition fear it will be rigged in favor of long-time ruler Yoweri Museveni.
In preparation for the general election 2021, the Commission has acquired biometric voter verification machines, which will be used to verify voters who present themselves at polling stations on polling day. The Commission has completed the dispatch of all the materials required for tomorrow's elections to the districts and cities across the country. Now, tomorrow, tomorrow, the polling kits or materials will be delivered to the respective polling stations so that polling commences at 7 a.m. countrywide. As I conclude, the Commission urges all stakeholders to conduct themselves in a tolerant, peaceful, and tranquil manner and participate in the final activities of this election in accordance with the guidelines and the law to ensure that we achieve a free and fair exercise. Let me emphasize, it is only the Electoral Commission that is mandated to announce the final outcome of an election or the results of an election.
Expectations of a fair and transparent election in Uganda remain low based on the difficulty of unseating powerful long-term rulers and the turbulent election campaign, which was marred by alleged human rights abuses denounced by the opposition. On the health front, the African Union announced on Wednesday that it had secured 270 million COVID-19 vaccine doses for the continent in a deal that it says will benefit nations unable to finance their immunization campaigns. The doses will be supplied by Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and Johnson & Johnson, and will complement the vaccines secured via COVAX, the globally pooled vaccine procurement and distribution effort. The vaccine doses will be made available throughout the year, with 50 million supplied between April and June. With more than 1.2 billion inhabitants, the African continent has only registered 75,000 COVID-related fatalities since the beginning of the pandemic, compared to 2 million COVID-related deaths recorded worldwide. On the security front, in the Central African Republic, an attack by rebels on Wednesday on the outskirts of the capital, Bangui, has been repelled by government forces helped by Russian and United Nations soldiers. Bangui residents fled the affected suburbs for the city center, which they believe is safer.
When I woke up around 5 a.m., I too heard gunshots and I was scared. I told them to wait for me so I could see things, and I told them I would find them. Then they left without turning back. So far I don't know where my family is. How are they going to live? If they have run away, how they are going to live? And with everything happening, we sell stuff to be able to eat. That's how we make a living. We sell things. But with all that's happening, how can we sell things? How can we find something to eat in these times? We don't want this.
Wednesday's attack was the first time that rebels who control 2/3 of the national territory had struck so close to the capital city before being pushed back with the loss of a Rwandan peacekeeper, according to the United Nations. In Ethiopia, more than 80 civilians were killed on Tuesday in the latest attack in the western Metekel area that has been plagued by recurring violence in recent months. The authorities said that they are still chasing further details about the perpetrators and how the victims were killed. Meanwhile, in Ethiopia, the government said on Wednesday that its forces had killed 3 leading members of the Tigray People's Liberation Front, whose leaders are the target of military operations by Addis Ababa in the northern Tigray region. The men were killed in fire exchanges after refusing to surrender, according to federal authorities. The regional leaders that were killed included Seymour Mesfin, who served as Ethiopia's foreign minister for nearly 2 decades. On the international scene, in Britain, Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced on Wednesday that coronavirus vaccinations would be offered to the population 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as soon as supply allows.
We'll be going to 24/7 as soon as we can, and my rival friend, the Health Secretary, will be setting out more about that in due course. And that programme of vaccines, Mr. Speaker, does show the way forward. It does show how we're going to come through this pandemic, and this is the toughest of times, Mr. Speaker, but we can see the way forward. Under this government, we will do everything we can to ensure that no child goes hungry as a result of the privations caused by this pandemic.
The British government has set a target of 15 million people to be vaccinated by mid-February. So far, around 2.4 million of Britain's most vulnerable citizens have been vaccinated against COVID-19.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well,
Last but not least, on the football scene, Tottenham manager Jose Mourinho slammed the Spurs' avoidable mistakes after their 1-1 draw with Fulham on Wednesday.
Not good enough because I think we have to play better and in a more consistent way, but good enough to create 4 or 5 big chances, good enough to keep Hugo in a very quiet evening, and good enough to win the game, but not good enough because we have to play better than we did. And this is the same story basically since the beginning of the season. We can speak about not killing the game. Yes, we can speak about that, and today was a clear situation that we should and we could kill the game in the first half. But then you go back to the goals that we concede, and it's not also easy to assimilate that.
Fulham's manager Scott Parker said that he's more pleased with the way his players played after a tough couple of weeks.
We were superb under what we faced. A lot of speculation, a lot of talk from everyone from outside, that no one really understood, or no one really knows exactly the full extent of what we've been through. It's been a tough couple of weeks. 10, 11 positive tests only. 16 days ago this game was scheduled, I think it was. So players what have been in isolation and indoors now for 10 days. A game then what got put on our laps on Monday morning at 9:30. The players had to come in and play the game. So we used that, of course we did, because felt it was unfair. Didn't think it was right what happened tonight in that sense. So certainly, yeah, that helped. But again, I think I'm more pleased with the way we played. I thought we played ever so well.
The Spurs have won just 2 of their last 8 league matches and sit in 6th place in the Premier League table. A victory against Fulham would have taken them into 3rd place above Manchester City. That's it for today. Thank you for watching Vox News.